Okay, so in summary, and concluding, we've come a long way from its earliest beginnings, the ones I showed you in the first slides. So metabolomics went from a study of metabolism into a global study of all the metabolites and other compounds that are found in biological materials. It came about because of our abilities to be more, to generate a more high resolution analysis, whether it be in the mass of what we were measuring, in the separation, the chromatography, or in the NMR world, the increased magnetic fields. Because of the extraordinary amount of data that can be collected, we have to use software programs to extract and interpret that data. And so the development of those programs is allowing us now to look at the data collected and interpret it much more rapidly. And of course, all of us have little patience, so when we get the data, we want to click on a button and it produces the answer, and we can go away and have a cup of tea. So it's not quite there, and because the volume of data is so large, but we're on a path to get there faster and faster. So metabolomics is joining genomics, transcriptomics, epitranscriptomics, proteomics, etc., in a comprehensive understanding of biological systems. It's being applied to healthcare, certainly at UAB, that's our principal application. It allows very, very basic research to be done too, particularly in cell systems. And of course, it can be applied to anything else, including all the agricultural systems that are responsible for our nutrition health. And training opportunities in data analysis are available, as we've seen, through societies and universities, both in Africa, in Europe, and of course in the USA. So finally, I'm talking personally here. I'd like to thank my four mentors, my four significant mentors. Tony James, who the gas chromatography inventor, who turned me from a 20-year-old interested in money into a 20-year-old who had a passion for science. For Ernst Chain, who taught me how to become a scientist and how to interact between a professor and his student, and learned to eventually make that an equal. So that was a pretty hard process in the beginning. We went back and forth, and eventually I think we got to a point where I was comfortable that he had taught me all that I could learn. And he finally recognized it. I then went to work for an amazing woman, Dame Sheila Sherlock. She was the first woman to be chair of medicine in Europe, and her area of expertise was liver disease. And she brought me into studying bile acids, which have been a passion all my life and are really, really important in metabolomics. And she sent me, after several years working in her group, to work with Alan Hoffman, who at that time was at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And Alan and I became joined at the hip. We were friends for life. He sadly died in 2021, but not before we really exchanged and appreciated ourselves. I also want to thank Xu Du, Paul Benton, and Xu Xiao Li. You heard about these, and these were the people who were the trainers in the workshop that I held at NIH, for the NIH workshop. And they really introduced me to the software programs that they developed and are still developing. At UAB, I'm extremely grateful to Hemant Tiwari because Hemant had run workshops before. And when I said, I really think I need to put this together, he immediately became available to show me how to do this best. And of course, we were successful, and he continues to work with us. In fact, we're currently working with a group from Nigeria doing metabolomics analysis. And I can tell you a little bit more about that later if you ask. The other person next to him, Landon Wilson, is my metabolomics and mass spec guru. He is the guy who has been running the mass spectrometers in my group for 25 years. He came to us as a student out of Auburn University with an undergraduate degree in biochemistry. And he's learned and grown amazingly over that period of time. And none of what we do would have been possible without him. And then Amit Gaga is the person who now has transferred me into the Department of Medicine. And we've been working for almost 20 years studying pulmonary disease, lung disease. And he is just an extraordinary and excited person. I love to work with excited people. And finally, I'd like to really thank Mikako Kawai. All of these things that I have done in the training require the recording and the editing of the recordings. And she's been working for me for 20 years and more. And I really thank her because she does this so quickly.